At home, I've been working at the Cape Breton Regional Hospital as a physiotherapist. I do community physiotherapy and travel to people's homes that can't make it into the hospital for treatment. Yes, I've wanted to learn to sail for a long time, and when I finished my physiotherapy degree, I worked for a little while and moved to Australia for the purpose of learning to sail. I just love the feeling of being out on the water, and I determined after getting a good deal of experience that I wanted to spend my life on the water. This trip is going to be an opportunity to learn all the skills I need to learn to do that.
That's quite an incredible ambition, if you like, or even mission in life. Were you at all daunted when you set that task for yourself? Did you see it as something that was achievable, or had any idea what steps you'd take in order to get there?
Well, the first step I took when I moved to Hobart, Australia, was to go down and start yacht racing. It's a great way to learn. From there, I decided that I actually needed to live on board yachts and learn more navigation. So I continued to sail in Australia and the South Pacific Islands for extended periods, living on board. That was the first step to confirming that it was what I wanted to do. Well, before the Clipper race came into Sydney, I was already making plans for an extended voyage of my own at some point in the future. This race provided an opportunity for me to sail around the world even sooner than I had thought. When the Clipper fleet arrived in Sydney, it was blowing 40 knots, and I was over on the other side at the Dobson Yacht Club, and I saw the first boat come in. So what I did is I went over. The crew was exhausted, so I said, well, I'm not going to talk to them tonight. Went over the next day and ended up meeting a woman from the UK named Maria. She was on board the Nova-Scotia boat and gave me a tour of the boat and spent about an hour telling me about her experiences in the race.
So at that point, were you thinking about actually sailing around the whole world or doing a single leg? What was your thought at that time?
I wanted to do the whole thing. At that point, I wasn't sure how I was going to do the whole thing, but that was my plan. So I met with David Cusworth, the recruitment manager for Clipper, and we sat down and had an interview. I told him pretty much my life story, and in our discussions decided that I was going to raise money for a cause at home as well, which I chose the Cape Breton Cancer Centre.
Why in particular that? Do you have particular connections with it?
Well, I work at the hospital, and I see every day firsthand the effects that cancer has on people's lives, and this cancer center gives people a second chance at life. When a patient survives cancer, they're given a chance to do all the things that they've wanted to do in their life. And for me, I feel so grateful that I'm able to do this trip and to sail around the world. And I hope that through the cancer center, these patients will have a chance to do the things that they want to do in their lives.
So how special is it for you to be able to raise money for the cancer centre alongside your dream really of sailing around the world?
It's an excellent opportunity. I've been raising money for the cancer centre on a smaller scale during my race preparations this year. Now with the Cape Breton Island boat, it's given an opportunity to raise even more awareness. We've created the Mile for Mile campaign, which means that the race is 35,000 miles long, and we hope to raise $1 per mile throughout the span of the race. So the final goal is 35,000 for the cancer center.
Wow. So how do people get involved in supporting that?
There's a website for the Cape Breton boat called www.capebretonClipper.com, and there will be a link for Mile on this website for anybody that's interested in donating to our cancer center.
Now you've highlighted through that you've got 35,000 miles ahead of you here.
Yeah.
How have you been preparing for that, both physically and mentally?
Well, I've been preparing for it for the last 6 years without even knowing. I've spent a lot of time out at sea during my time in Australia. Since I've returned home, I've been mostly financially preparing by working 2 jobs in order to get on the race and trying to get as much exercise in as possible, specific training that will help on the yacht. Being a physiotherapist, that wasn't too much of a task to develop a program, but finding the time to do it has been.
How do you feel about that, about what's coming? Are you a little apprehensive, excited? How would you describe your emotions?
Well, I've been mentally preparing for this for 13 months, and I'm ready to just step on the boat right now and get started. I feel prepared.
Are you almost impatient? You want it to happen now?
Yeah, a little bit.
I can see some preparations going on behind you for one of the training sails that's going on. What sort of things have you been involved in down here in Gosport in England?
Since I've arrived, I've taken part in a navigation and meteorology course, which was the duration of last week. The equivalent teaching of the course is RYA Yachtmaster level. I have taken this course previously in Australia, so it was an excellent chance to refresh my skills, and I enjoyed it. So next step is to get on the Cape Breton boat. I can't wait to sail on the Cape Breton boat. On Sunday, I start my Part C training, where we'll go out and do some race preparation, so that will be my chance.
And it's a very distinctive livery standing out behind you here with the eagle, which is found in Cape Breton. How do you feel about that design?
It's beautiful. When I saw the design for the first time, I thought it was amazing. And I spent the last few months looking at the design on computers and on a banner, and I came down here last week to see it in person for the first time, and it was just incredible to see 68 feet in front of me with that eagle on the side. And I'm so proud to be sailing into Sydney with our boat next June.
So you'll be soaring with it around the world on this race, no doubt.
How do I answer that one?
That's great. I mean, how are you bonding with your fellow crewmates now? Because they're not only coming from around Cape Breton, but from all around the world, really.
It's been great to meet other people that have also been preparing for this race all year and who are very motivated to do the race. People have come from all different backgrounds and different motivations to do the race, but it seems that everybody here is up for the challenge, and I look forward to sailing with them next week.
Fantastic. There's a very enticing logo and strapline behind us, Cape Breton Island, Nova Scotia's masterpiece. Just what sort of a place is Cape Breton for those who've never been there?
Well, it's one of the most beautiful islands in the world, and speaking as someone who has traveled to many places in the world, I'm very proud to call it home. The people in Cape Breton have exceptional hospitality, and I've been speaking with other crew members, and they're very excited to come and visit our island next June. There are some people that are not even on that leg of the race that are planning a trip to Cape Breton just to see what it's like. I can't wait to tell people about our island. This is a perfect chance to show people around the world what we have to offer, and when they see that eagle coming into the harbour, I'm sure they'll be very interested to hear what we have to say.